If there's one thing we've learned about business and life, it's that people are the X factor. They constantly surprise us, both in amazing ways and not so much. We're Ben and Syya, and welcome to the Gnaw on This Business Bites podcast. This show is all about real life things we all deal with every day, how they relate to business, and how to make some sense out of our daily chaos. Welcome to the show. And welcome back to another episode of Gnaw on This Business Bites. I'm Ben and this is Syya. Welcome to another year. We are starting a brand new year of Gnaw on This. Thank you all so much for coming. I am excited about another year. Send in your comments. Like, what are the things you want us to gnaw on? You know, we come up with a lot of stuff on our own. But hey, listen, if there's anything that people want us to gnaw on, either put it in the comments, send us an email, or just let us know one way or the other. And we'd love to pick up on some of the things that you guys are sitting there going, hey, wait a second, what about this? This week, we're going to talk about goals versus plans. Now, when I think of goals versus plans, I think of Mike Tyson. It says, everybody's got a plan until they're punched in the mouth. You know, it's one of those things where you just sit there going, a plan is a plan is a plan. But guess what? If your plan doesn't have flexibility into it, if it doesn't have resilience into it, if you're not adaptable, you're going to fail based on your plan. So, Syya, let's chew on this.
Let's gnaw on this, young man.
All right, you gnaw on this, I'll chew on this, and we'll get to the middle together.
Well, speaking of chewing, and you know me, you're sitting there talking to Mike Tyson until everything's going great to plan until you get punched in the face.
Yes.
Or if you're Evander Holyfield, until you're bit in the ear. Dum-dum, and then you said chew, which really just kind of like is building into
Well, I was trying to set you up for it, but you kind of missed it, but that's all right.
I mean, I got it and I missed it and I caught it and I was like, ooh, am I really going to go there? Because that's really chewable. That's just a chewable, tasty treat.
That is definitely a chewable treat. Anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at, that's the beauty of YouTube. You know, if you're not old enough to understand what we're talking about, YouTube is your buddy.
Google or
that's right.
Or DuckDuckGo, whatever browser searching software you have. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so look, my friend, a plan is a plan. And by the way, a plan is not a bad thing necessarily.
No.
There are people like me that need plans in life. Otherwise, we just don't. Like, I'll just like aimlessly run around wherever and doing whatever and woohoo, squirrel, and then more squirrels. And then, oh wait, duck, right? Like, so yeah, plans I think absolutely are great. It is meant to be, I think, a great like little milestone tickers, right? But at any point in time, if you're paving a road and you realize you're in the middle, like there's a big mountain in the way that is just not passable, you're gonna have to pivot, right, accordingly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I cannot tell you how much I believe in planning, but plan to change it too. Like plan to fail, plan to CSHIT, you know what I mean? It's going to happen. Are you adaptable?
I look at plans. I look at plans as a place to start. Okay.
Yes.
It allows us to take step 1, maybe step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But after step 7, you know what? Something could go wrong. You sit there going, you made assumptions. You thought something was going to happen that it wasn't going to happen. You planned for the inevitable and the inevitable actually came to place. Whatever it is, the thing is, most people fail because they rely on plans. Because they sit there and go, oh, my plan was wrong, so therefore, obviously, this is not going to come together. Sorry, throw up my hand. Sorry, we're done. If we focus on goals, we say, okay, where are we going and why? What are we going to be able to achieve once we get there? And why is that important? How do we bring people into the thing and get them to believe in the goal? How do we get them to understand what happens when we don't achieve the goal? When we can get people bought in, they're listening to the story, they're believing in the story, and they see it. They sit there, go, okay, this plan didn't work. Obviously, something was wrong. Wait a second, what went wrong? Okay, good, that went wrong. Okay, let's build a new plan and let's start and move forward. Sometimes you have to go over, sometimes you have to go under, sometimes you have to go around. You know what? If you have a goal, if you know where you're going, it doesn't matter if your plan blows up because you're still heading in that direction. You're just sitting there going, okay, that didn't work. How do we now? What do we do? And that's the difference between, in my mind, goals and plans. Because a lot of people, their plans are, I built this perfect plan. If the plan didn't work, obviously we weren't meant to do this, or I'm giving up, or, we're not going to put any more money towards this because the plan failed. The plans are never perfect. No
Yeah, it's
plan
not,
in the
yeah.
world is ever perfect.
You know, having that goal, and here's the thing about goals, I'll say. You can set a ton of goals all day long, but if your plan doesn't actually move you forward to achieve those goals, that's another thing too on the flip side is like you could put goals all day long, but look, man, I'm not going to be a billionaire in the next month. It's not achievable, right? So I do think at any point in time, you set a goal to yourself. And if your plans, whatever different versions of it, A, B, C, D, whatever, backup and Z and Z and all that, uh, if it doesn't help you achieve that goal, doesn't show you that path to get to that goal, then it's not a plan either, right? So I was actually talking to someone about this, about their business. They're launching their business, and I said, look, hey, you're starting at square zero, right? You're at
Mm-hmm.
like not even one. You haven't even taken a step yet. Like they haven't even filed for the paperwork yet, right? So I said, okay, look, I think at this stage where you're at is definitely need to have a plan of where you want to go and what you see, right? Do a 30, 60, 90 just for the immediate if you need to. What's your year end goal? And then do a 6 month checkpoint and just kind of see where you are. And to make sure that come December, you're not disappointed or surprised or stressing out. You already knew, you know, since day one. If your goal to sell $1 million in revenue this year, then you need to sell. I don't know, making numbers up. Someone help me with math. You need to sell 1,000 a day, 10,000 a day, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so. Maybe if you're numbers oriented, then you will know. Hey, I didn't close $10,000 in business today. Better make sure I've got a plan in place to hustle to make up for that, right? Otherwise, you're no longer working to plan. If it is something where you're finding yourself, oh, I didn't sell, 10,000 and it's 5 days in a row. Now it's 50,000 and it starts like doing this real like uphill climb, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your goal.
Or
Is it
you
truly
or
realistic?
reevaluate your plan.
Or reevaluate your plan. I mean, it's just, you can have so much fun with this, people. I feel like so inspired. Is that, okay, let's ask. I mean, I get it, holiday break and all that good stuff, and New Year's. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people still hungover from the holiday, January 1st celebrations. Let's be honest. Shockingly, I'm not. But no. Why do you think we act like January should be like the beginning of a new leaf and new life? Is it just a mental thing, or is it like a true, like, no, this is your real opportunity to like start anew? Is it? I guess my question is it just in our head? Could we just do this in March as well? Couldn't we?
Well, it's a calendar thought process. I mean, here's the thing: government year end is March 31st. In a lot of respects, at least in Canada, government year end in a lot of respects on a provincial and a federal basis is March 31st. So their plans started new on April 1. In the Jewish New Year, the Jewish New Year is sometime in either late September or early October. It's lunar calendar based, so it doesn't follow the Gregorian calendar. But people plan their years based on that New Year. So New
Mm,
Year's is basically a moment in time that we sit there. We've gone and we've reflected up to a point in time, and we said, okay, now we're doing something new. And the question is that what Monday morning is? Is Monday morning your brand new reset? Because you're sitting there going, okay, I've gone through the weekend, I've gone through a week, now I've got to reset and I'm starting again. The joke that I used to say when I first started out in business is, yeah, I wake up every Monday morning broke and unemployed. And but it forces you to be able to sit there and say, okay, what's my goal? What's my plan? What am I looking to do? I think that there's two things. going back one point to a previous point, you said a goal without a plan is a dream.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And when we think about it, if we don't have a plan to get there, if we may have a goal, but if we don't have a plan to get there, even if that plan needs to be adjusted, if we don't sit there and say, look, here's our goal, here's our plan to get there. Wait a second, this plan isn't working. Okay, why? Does it still meet the goal? No. Wait a second here. Okay, we need to readjust the plan. But you need to have that plan because that gets you stepping in the right direction. Okay? Because if we don't take that first step, we'll never reach our goal. Everybody January 1st is saying, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to, spend less time on my cell phone. I'm going to spend more time with my kids. And then the world shows up and and those are plans. I've got a plan to do this, but there isn't a tangible reason in your mind of why you're doing it in the first place. I want to put down my cell phone more because it's important for me not to have my kids grow up singing, a Cat Stevens song. I don't want people singing Cat in the Cradle. And when I'm 62 years old and my kids, don't want to see me, and I've never seen my own grandchildren because I spend more time with my head in my phone than I do this. To just say I'm going to put my phone down, more, you never will. You need to have a specific reason and a specific goal of why you're doing it. And the more specific you can be, the more tangible and the more narrow focused that goal can be, the easier it is to achieve. The more, when we try to do these broad reaching aspirational goals that are loosey goosey and have no timeline, no finish line, they're not measurable, they're not accountable, and they don't have the ability to be tangible, the less chance we have of achieving them. So we need
100%.
to have both the goal, the plan, and we need to know the difference between a goal and a dream.
Yes. Yes. Well, look, mister, I will say this much. I don't do New Year's resolutions largely because I don't put a plan in place because my goals are usually outrageous. And because I know in the back of my mind, I'm like, ain't changing. I'm celebrating a big year this year. If I haven't done it, I'm not going to do it in that way. I think there's something that in me this year I might change, but come on, man. Like I'm not going to get up at 4 a.m. I'm just not. I'm just not going to do it, people. I just won't. If I'm up at 4
You
in the
may go
morning,
to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, but you're not getting up at 4 in the morning.
look, if I'm up at 4, it's because Mama's getting on a plane and she's going to go somewhere on vacation. Okay, no, that's the only time I would get up at 4 in the morning without wanting to shoot darts at whomever I'm looking at. But but I think it's admirable. I think whatever it is that everyone's. I'm curious. Everyone that's if you're still alive, people, Happy New Year. Hello, it's 2024.
Wake
Would love to hear your
up!
thoughts. I would like to hear your thoughts, everyone, because it's, I think having a plan is good, but I think it's almost it checks and balances each other, right? Like if you set a lofty goal and is your plan executable, right? And then, in the same token, is your plan executable based on your goal, right? I think it goes
Is
back
your
and
goal
forth. So,
realistic?
yeah, one hundo.
Yeah.
Hundo.
I'm not going to lose 100 pounds in the next 365 days. It ain't going to happen unless I'm sitting there on my deathbed and all of a sudden the entire body is sucked out from underneath me. So at that point in time, that really wasn't my aim or my goal in the first place. So we need to sit there and say, I've set this goal. Can I achieve it? And why is this goal important to me?
Mm.
Why do I care about this? Do I care about this because it's important to me or because, oh God, I should lose weight because my doctor told me that I'm 20 pounds overweight? Yeah, whatever. My doctor's 20 pounds overweight. So, it's hard for me to get, really excited about it when my doctor's as much overweight as I am.
Ooh-wee. Hey man, we're all humans. That's the other thing. We're all humans. And I think that, hey, by the way, what we're talking about here, yeah, there was a little bit about personal goals and whatnot, but the truth of this is professional too, as far as our
Same
business
thing goes for
plans.
businesses.
Very much to our business plan. Are we going to assume that sales performance is going to be X this year based on the current products that you sell or whatever service? Is it something that's going to be even marketable for this year? Maybe whatever services that you offered last year is not going to be as attractive or needed. It's definitely something to, hopefully you guys all did those exercises, but it's never too late. So it's a new year, new opportunities. Be open, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. That's my close.
Exactly.
For the year.
One quick story, and then I'm going to let everybody go. Back in 2020, end of 2019, I met with a client. They had this goal of 20 million in 2020. And I said, that's nice. Why? Why and how does this benefit your staff? How are you going to get your staff on board? How are you going to get your staff excited? How are you going to motivate them to be able to make this so it's important to them? What are you going to be able to achieve that you can't now when you get to the $20 million mark? And if you get $20 million and you get it at 5% margin, are you going to be happy? And I got nothing but blank stares. None of them had thought about any of these things.
Of course
well,
not.
Guess what? COVID came. They got punched in the face. They never met their goal, and I don't think they've met their goal to this point. But the thing is, if you can't articulate your goals and you can't get people to aspire because you've inspired them, those goals on the corporate side.
Hey. Thanks for listening to another episode of Not On This Business Bites.
Do that.
If you like what you heard,
let's leave it there. I'm Ben.
Ask that you like, I'm Syya, share, and hit that subscribe
we'll see you
button.
soon.
And if you want to communicate more effectively within your organization, contact Ben at yourbrandmarketing.com or me at brilliantbeammedia.com. We can help you build your community, brand awareness, and personality through digital content and podcasting. We cannot wait to hear from you. So see you next week for another episode of Not On This Business Bites.